So many people blame others for their problems, when only you are the one who can solve your problems. This is the mental shift that I credit all of my incomes, all of my relationships, and all of my self-development journey to. If it weren't for taking responsibility upon myself, I would not have any of the success I have right now. Now, a lot of people aren't even aware of this. Main reason is because of their ego. The reason we all blame others for our problems or what we have going on is because of our ego. Because most people don't understand that it's important to have an ego that can understand which situations, which moments are ones that it needs to learn from, grow from, and take action from. Now, this video of mine is probably the easiest fix you're ever going to have in your life. All it takes is an external view of what's happening in the moment. Or another way of putting it, you need to become a spectator with no emotion. Because have you ever gotten advice from someone else, or have you ever given advice to someone else? It's like you know everything, even when the solution is really easy for the other person. But the reason that they didn't come up with it is because their emotions are into it and your emotions aren't. It's a bit fucked saying that you don't really care about your friend and that there's no emotion tied into whatever you're trying to help them with. But that's why you're able to give the good advice in that moment. Now, all you need to do is put yourself in a spectator view, or another easy way of putting it, put yourself as a friend who has no emotions tied into what's going on. And I remember when I first heard it, it really did make me think, because I was always blaming everything on everyone else. This is before I even had my first job. This is before I had any income, any money, anything in my life. So I remember when I was hearing this, as soon as you start taking responsibility for your life, that's when you can start creating for your own life too. That's when you can solve your own problems too. So I first started trying this out around in my own home. If something went wrong, I'd usually just blame it on my brother, blame it on my sister, blame it on whoever on the home, and not take any responsibility for it. But then after that, I just started blaming myself for the circumstances we were in, for the situation we were in, for everything around us. I blamed everything on myself. And honestly, it did work. It did help me out a lot. And I ended up sticking with this mentality, especially moving into my first job, which was a sales job. I was able to blame me not getting any sales in the beginning time, on myself. Whereas most people, when they enter sales, they think, oh, I'm not making any money, whatever, let me quit and go sell my time. And I'm so happy that I didn't do that. I ended up just blaming it on me not knowing how to sell. I ended up blaming it on me not knowing anything about anything. Now, of course, I was never number one in the company or anything big like that, but that was the foundation for me. That's essentially the basis for everything I know now in my life. It was sales. And the thing that led me to being good at sales and continuing with it was me taking blame for everything that was going on in my life, at work, etc. The hardest part for me was when I was running my first business, when I had other employees that I was working with. The reason it was hard to take blame for everything is because you know the other person is supposed to be responsible for what they're doing. And it took me a good long while of going through employees messing up with work or not showing up and not doing what they're supposed to before I came to the ultimate realization that it's my fault. Because at the end of the day, I was the one who hired them, I was the one who paid them, I was the one who trained them, taught them, and I was the one who encouraged the behavior that they were doing. Now, there is a lot of the letter I's in this. The I is important. Usually when you use the word I, it's to describe yourself. It's to describe a feeling or an experience. If you start including saying things along the lines of, I did this, it's my fault, I should take responsibility for this, even that little add in vocabulary will help you take accountability and stop you from putting your problems on other people. Because at the end too, you're the only person who's going to solve your problems. With the friend example again, no one is going to care about your problems more than you should care about yours either. Because no one's emotions are tied in with you except for yourself. And all the time in life, it is your fault. Whether you had involvement in the beginning, in the middle, or the end, you played a role in the outcome. And it's a lot easier to change yourself than to change others. That's why it's so important as well, because you're never going to be able to fix someone else. You can only fix yourself. Another little 3-step process that I have for this, just to make it a little bit more simple for some people, is you start by accepting what happened. You accept that it was you who did it. And then you need to let go of any emotions tied into this. And the final one is either you find a solution, or if the damage is done, there's nothing irreversible about it, then you just need to be thankful for what happened. Now, what happens if you never take fault of everything in your life? Essentially, there's going to be no growth, you're going to have less friends, and the friends that you do have and the people around you are just going to be low-level people. Because if you ask yourself, what are the people like around me? If you're a good person, there's going to be good people around you. And if you two are blaming everyone around you, which is fine, I've done that too, you just need to grow out of it. The answer is the people around you are the same as you. So as soon as you start changing all of these little mental shifts, people are going to start drifting away, which is a good thing. You want that to happen. You don't want bad people in your life, and better people are just going to trickle in. Like attracts like, as well as opposites attract. Your mind attracts what is. And with all that being said, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you got something out of it. I enjoyed making this video because, along with all my videos, I always try and pick out a problem that I had and then the solution I came up with, because it's best to see other people grow. It's best to see other entrepreneurs, anyone grow quicker. With everything being said, enjoy the rest of the day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.